Hello, Mikhail from the environments team. I just wanted to record a demo for the backend API for the Kubernetes Graph API backend. Uh, we have a design document here with all the technical details, and I built the implementation of the backend, and that's what I want to demo. So the idea is that we have the agent in the Kubernetes cluster. We have Kubernetes agent server running along GTK, and the agent establishes watches for all the Kubernetes resources that the user requested, and streams the updates for the resources to the browser. Um, well, to the client, which is GitLab CLI in this demo, and GitLab CLI renders the stream of updates as a graph, as an SVG, and then the browser connects to the GitLab CLI, which listens on a port locally, and yeah, we send that SVG to the browser so that we can look at it. So this is GitLab CLI. We have that class and agent running here. This is GitLab CLI. This is the request we are sending. We want pod secrets, config maps, service accounts from the core group, and deployments, replica sets, daemon sets, stateful sets from the apps, and some batch and everything except for the cluster row bindings and cluster rows. And we also don't want to see the kube system, which is a huge namespace in terms of the number of objects. Okay, let's see what this will show us. So it opens the link to the GitLab CLI port automatically in the default browser. As you can see, it's not done loading because it's a live view. It's not a fixed once rendered SVG. So if you make changes in the cluster, it will render them here. So let's create, well, as you can see, we have the namespaces. These are namespaces. It shouldn't be here. It's a bug. Edge case that needs to be fixed. But yeah, here the namespace, and let's create a namespace ns1. Here it is, and it has the default service account. This is the name of the object, and this is just the tooltip showing the group and resource name. So service accounts. This is the config map with the certificate authority for the Kubernetes API itself, so that things running in the namespace can access the API. Doesn't matter. So these are the objects that are there. Here we have row binding for the row, and this is the reference because row binding refers to the row. This is our default service account and so on. Okay, let's create a deployment in that namespace to see with 3 replicas and Nginx in NS1. Okay, this is our deployment. This is our replicas, replica set. Yeah, this is the replica set. This is the deployment. These are the pods. It all started really, really quickly because I have tried it before. And as you can see, the yellow arrows are owner references. So we see that this pod has a link to the replica set. So there is a information in the object that it's owned by this object, and in this object in the replica set there is information that it's owned by this deployment. So if we have more than one replica set, they will have all links to the deployment and so on with the pods. You can see that they all use the default service account, and you can see that these pods are also referred to this config map so that they can access the API if they need to. That probably, yeah, that's how it works. So let's also scale it up to 5 from 3. We should start 2 more pods. 4, 5. Okay, we have 5 pods. They are all the same. I hope this is visible. Okay, let's let's delete the, or scale it to 0 actually, to see what happens. So it should delete the pods, but keep the replica set and the deployment. Um, 4 pods now. This is rendering the SVG 3 pods on my laptop in terms of it's part of GitLab CLI, the rendering, and it's using the D2 library that's it's not designed to render in real time, but that's what I do with it. So this is Kubernetes slowness plus D2 is not that fast, I think. But I think in this case, we don't have a lot of objects, so it's probably the Kubernetes that is not very fast. Maybe this deployment is just configured this way to scale down with some delays. But yeah, you can see it's deleting things one by one. And we have 1 pod remaining and the replica set on deployment. One last pod left. Okay, and now it's gone. This is the replica set. Okay, let's delete the whole namespace to clean things up. Should be a bit faster. Yep, it's gone. Well, this is the product side of the demo. For the technical side, I also wanted to mention a few things. This is not fully done in terms of rendering is part of GitLab CLI. Normally, it would be better to render this stuff on the front end so that um, it scales better, it renders faster, it's maybe a bit more interactive, like maybe you can click on things a bit more and have some UI because this is just SVG. Um, this demo also records thing like each frame into an individual file. Like this is the thing. Maybe I can put it this. Yeah, well, this is the SVG that was sent to the browser. Um, yeah, so we send the SVGs as a multi-part Xmixed replace. So the browser gets a stream of mime parts and shows each mime part as if it's the single response from the server. So that's how we have live updates. Well, they are actually live updates, but it's not a video or it's not run in the browser. It's just this uh, interesting way to render SVG on the server and show it as if it's updating in the browser. Another interesting thing is here we log the D2 markup. So that's where it starts. From classes, we define classes so we can style everything. As you can see, I've added some styling. So um, dotted lines and different shapes. This is just a box. This has an angle here. The yellow lines and like it's fully stylable. This can be customized. And this is just the good enough way to show it. But everything has a class, and then we can also like in CSS we can add styles to the classes. Like here, this is the class name. We have style field with this color and so on. And these are the objects: namespace default, label default, and then got a class, and then we got two objects in it, and so on and so on and so on. Lots of things here. Well, I guess this is it. Thank you.